Good day, everyone. Hope you all had a super Sunday. This is the third time I'm trying to film this because I keep being long-winded about talking about Mafia. So, today was a little bit of shopping, just in a nutshell. Did a little bit of shopping, managed to find, because of a coupon I had and an item being on sale, I got $38 worth of clothes, 2 shirts, for $4, basically. Pretty awesome. Think Orange happened after that, so we did that, and then after that I went to a Mafia party. Josh and Heather were also there, as well as Jesse and his wife Heather, and all the crew and everything. So, real quickly, I'm going to try to do this fast. I usually get long-winded when I start going, but we'll see. Mafia party, got there a couple hours after. There was just started a game. We managed to get another game started. We had to go upstairs to that smaller room, and we played a game. During the thing, there was a process where the cards were handed out, and there were extra cards, and it turns out that the extra cards in his possession were useful cards, so we had to give. His wife had stepped out of the room at one point, so he gave her one of the cards, and then he switched cards with 2 other people. He's like, let me switch cards with you, let me switch cards with you, because he was the moderator. And so he was giving out the cards. He's like, let me switch, let me switch. I'm like, alright, so those 3 people now have useful roles. Whether they're good or bad, we don't know, but they have something. And then someone else comes in, he's given a card, one of the cards that was switched out, and I'm like, alright, he's got a nothing card, he's probably a townsperson. So he's innocent, so he's nothing to worry about. So we go through, I at some point point out this information where those 3 have to have important roles, if I'm right. Later on, I'm turned by the Yakuza. I open my eyes, who do I see? Those 3 people looking at me. One of them was a Yakuza, killed himself. The other 2, Mafia, 1, 2, 3. Turns out all 3 of those extra cards were Mafia cards. Wow. I might have just said that too fast for you to follow, but I went in much greater detail in my other recording, and it took too long. So, yeah. That's the first game. Second game, downstairs, more people. I'm a cop. There are 2 other cops. One's the host's wife, the other is this guy over here. And so we do 3 investigations along the way. She's innocent. She's guilty. He's innocent. She's guilty. And we don't come forward right away for some reason. Also, the Yakuza strikes and randomly chooses our other cop. So at that point, he stops being a cop and starts being Mafia, and so he's not allowed to wake up with the cops. So when the cops wake up, the 2 of us see he's not awake. We know he is the person who was turned by the Yakuza and is now Mafia. So she decides that she's going to come forward and tell that she's the cop, tell what we discovered. He's Mafia because he was turned because he was a cop, and guilty, guilty, innocent. So that happens, we wake up, she reveals it all, guilty, guilty, innocent, she's the cop, and he was a cop, but he's turned now. And rather than go after her, he decides he's going to go after me. Luckily, someone else had a gun, and he decided he was going to go after the turned Mafia, and he uses the gun quickly. Bang. It was literally bang, pow. And the bang had worked first, and so it got him, and I was spared. And I was a target. I was his target instead, to throw everything off a little bit, basically. So then we go through the process a little bit more, whittle it down, knock this person out, that person out, and then we come down to basically the Godfather's left, and it's either Jesse or Josh. And Josh had said some things that convinced me he was town, and Jesse had said some things that didn't convince me he wasn't Mafia. So off of my gut, again, the first round were the 3 cards, they were Mafia. Mafia won, by the way, that first game. I think I said that, but I was Mafia and we won. I was town originally, but I was turned Mafia, and the Mafia won right after that. Back to the second game, a cop, we're going for town to win, and basically we decided to go with Jesse based on my recommendation, and we did, and he was Godfather. Town wins. I'm on town side. 2-0. Game 3, and I'm going a lot faster than I did last time. I'm only at 5 minutes. Wow. Alright, so this one should be fine. I should be able to get through, and this should definitely be the one to go up. This should definitely be the recording to go up, unless I take time talking about the recording. Game 3. One guy, he seems he silences himself, but he's a quiet player, so we're trying to figure out who would silence him. It's pointed out that he does like to silence himself when he's a silencer, so we think he's a silencer. So we tried to take a vote, but we didn't convince enough people, and so only 3 people voted, myself, the other guy, and Josh. The 3 of us voted for the lynching, and the rest of us didn't. This other guy comes forward and starts defending the first guy. Says he thinks he's Batman and all these other things. A lot of it didn't make a lot of sense. I don't know, just the way he presented or whatever. So everyone just got really worried that he was going to be a wild card, I think. And so a nomination, a second, and the whole town almost unanimously lynches him. And it turns out he was town. So he wasn't even worried about, but what he was doing didn't make any sense in the eyes of, personally, in the eyes of someone who thought that this guy was guilty. So unfortunately, this gave this person time to make it to the night cycle instead of being taken out by the lynching himself. And as a result, he was actually not the silencer, he was the Yakuza. So he was still Mafia, so we were right. Those of us who thought he was Mafia was right. He's the Yakuza. He takes the opportunity to strike, and he strikes our nurse, who was attempted to be taken out in the first round and was saved, which means he was probably the nurse. It turns out he was. He was also given a gun along the way. And so he has a gun, he's the nurse, and someone was turned. He makes the most sense because we don't know who any of the cops are. So there was some confusing moment where I started overthinking it, but we came back, and so we came back around. We decided not to go after the one, and we're trying to decide if we want to go after the other. And then he strikes, he kills the one person. He said, and we was like, "What are you?" And so the person who was just killed shows us he was a gunsmith. He's town, which means the other guy's probably guilty, but because he just struck, balance shifted, and there were too many Mafia left. And Mafia won. Town, including me, did not win. I was just a townsperson. And 2-1, not bad. And then we had to call it. It was a quick night, only 3 games, like I said. We got done early. And then as I was leaving, I was able to finally get a second uniform. Looks a little different. It's a black shirt, so I'll probably wear it more often. Although maybe not, because it's the same size as the other one, so it's going to be a little tight. But they said they're going to order the next size up for me next time they order shirts. So, but they allow the other shirts. I don't know if they're going to order shirts anytime soon. Anyway, that's it. That's my day. That's my Mafia fun. And oddly enough, all these instincts are starting to kick in, and it's getting easier for me to talk myself out of situations where people think it's me, because I know more and more nuances. And for some reason today, all 3 games, we were making right choices. Whether it was me saying those 3 or something, it turns out they were all Mafia, but they turned me, so I got to be with them for them to win. Even though I did lay it out for the town, we didn't get it done. Second game, picking the right people when we were the cops, realizing the person was turned, and then somehow surviving the gunfight, and then picking out Jesse as the guilty party for the win. And then game 3, where my instinct was to go after this person who turned out to be the Yakuza, which shifted the gameplay pretty quickly, and so everything that played out the way it did, and unfortunately we didn't win because people didn't listen to me in that round. So yeah, at 9 minutes now, hopefully this video will go up okay. So I'm gonna say goodnight everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.